to learn first chapter of 11th standard of NCERT, that is living world. Basically, to whom we can consider as a living, who is a living organism, how we can define it, how we can differentiate living and non-living organisms. So, living organisms cannot be defined as such, but the living organisms or living thing is a complex and unique organization of macromolecule which lead to the certain characteristics and forming some property. Collectively, we consider it as a living organisms. So, what kind of property do they possess? So, the first property is growth. Second property is reproduction. Third property is metabolism. Fourth property is ability to sense environment. And fifth property is cellular organization. Okay, so here some properties we are taken. We should discuss them one by one. The first property is growth. What is a growth? Growth is irreversible changes in cell mass. Growth is irreversible change in cell mass. Okay, so growth can be intrinsic or extrinsic. Growth can be definite growth or indefinite growth. First of all, growth is what? Growth is irreversible change in cell mass is called as growth. So first aspect of growth is definite growth. Now what is a definite growth? The organism which shows the growth up to the certain period of time. That means they can grow for certain age limit. कुछ organisms अपने specific age तक ही grow होते हैं. For example, animals. In case of human beings, the height cannot be increased after 20 to 21 years. It gets stopped. After the maturity, height will not be increased. Okay, so that is called as definite growth. Definite growth मतलब क्या? Just specific age तक ही organism grow हो सकता है, उसके बाद उसकी growth नहीं होती, उसको हम बोलते हैं definite growth. And you can take example of animal. Second one is indefinite growth. Now, what is indefinite growth? Indefinite growth means what? Organisms can grow throughout the life. For example, plants. कुछ organisms lifelong grow होते रहते हैं. जैसे प्लांट है, एक बार आप प्लांट को कट भी कर दोगे तो भी उसकी ग्रोथ कंटिन्यू रहती है, तो उसको हम कैटेगराइज करते हैं इंडेफिनाइट ग्रोथ. सो वी कैन टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ इंडेफिनाइट ग्रोथ एज अ प्लांट. ओके, नेक्स्ट एस्पेक्ट इज इंट्रिंसिक ग्रोथ. Here it is a categorization of growth itself, definite growth and indefinite growth. Now growth again have another aspect, that is intrinsic growth. Intrinsic growth means what? The growth which is forming within. ऑर्गेनिज्म अंदर से ग्रो होता है. ओके, the height is growing from inside, height is increased from inside. Okay, जब ग्रोथ अंदर से होती है, ऑर्गेनिजम्स के विदिन होती है, तो उसको हम कंसिडर करते हैं इंट्रिंसिक ग्रोथ. एग्जांपल्स यू कैन टेक ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स शोज इंट्रिंसिक ग्रोथ. They are increasing their cell mass by cell division, which is happening internally. So that is called as intrinsic growth. So you can take intrinsic growth का एग्जाम्पल हम ले सकते हैं animals or all living beings, all living organisms. Okay, and extrinsic growth. Now what is the extrinsic growth? The growth which is happening externally. कुछ growth मतलब बढ़ना होता है. So mountains also grow. Mountains externally उन पे कुछ layers आते जाते हैं जिसकी वजह से उनकी height बढ़ती जाती है. So that are considered in the category of extrinsic growth. So you can take an example in extrinsic growth, that is mountains. Okay. So after studying all this, we came to conclusion that growth is not a defining property of living organisms. What we understood? That growth is not defining property of living organisms. Okay. So we are learning about living world. To define the living organisms, we have taken some criteria, some properties. Among them, first one is growth, second one is reproduction, third one is metabolism, fourth one is ability to sense environment, and fifth is cellular organization. Among them, we are looking for the first one, that is growth. What is a growth? Growth is an irreversible change in a cell mass. So growth having two aspects. First one is a definite growth. Definite growth means what? Organism shows growth up to certain age level. It's called as definite growth. An example is animal. Second one is indefinite growth. Organism shows the growth throughout their life. For example, plants. Now, intrinsic growth. It is the another aspect of growth. Intrinsic growth, growth happening within. Growth is occurring inside. It's called as intrinsic growth, which can be shown by the all organisms. Second one is the extrinsic growth. Example is mountain. As we discussed, mountains also shows growth. They also shows increase in their height. Okay, so that is coming under the category of extrinsic growth. Now our second property is, this is the first one, and now we are looking for the second property, that is reproduction. Second property is reproduction. Now, what is reproduction? Reproduction is living organism produce progeny which having similar characteristics of their parents, as like their parents. Is called as reproduction. Reproduction का मतलब क्या होता है? Living organisms अपने जैसे organisms को बनाता है which having similar characteristics as like their parents. जिनके characteristics अपने parents के जैसे होते हैं, resemble with their parents. Okay? इसको हम बोलते हैं reproduction. है. So reproduction का definition है living organism produces progeny having similar characteristics as like their parent. As like their parents. इसको आप बोल सकते हो reproduction. So reproduction is a property, is considered as the property of living organism, but some organism could not reproduce. For example, mule. Mule is a hybrid of horse and donkey. Okay, so mule is sterile, which cannot reproduce. Second example is worker honeybee. which also cannot reproduce, which is completely sterile. And you also can take an example of some human being. Some human beings do not reproduce. They may have some problem in their reproductive system. They may have a problem in their gamete formation or in fertilization. Because of the certain reason, some living organisms, some human beings could not reproduce. So वो living नहीं है क्या? Definitely they are living organisms. So in such conditions, we can consider as reproduction is not a defining property. Again, reproduction is not a defining property. It is not defining property. Okay. Now, third property is metabolism. Here, third property is metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism is sum total of all biochemical reactions which are taking place in living system or in living cell. Metabolism ये living system में होने वाले सभी reactions को बोला जाता है, ठीक है? It is the sum total of all living reactions occurring in living system or in a cell. Is called as metabolism. So metabolism is truly defining property of living organism. So you can say it is defining property. Because metabolism is a term which is used for the reactions which are taking place inside the living system only. ये metabolism word सिर्फ और सिर्फ living system में होने वाले process के लिए ही use किया जाता है. इसलिए metabolism is truly defining property of living beings. Fourth property is ability to sense environment. Ability to sense environment means what? Organism can respond to the stimuli of their surrounding. Every organisms can receive the stimuli and can respond according to it. That stimuli may be physical stimuli, chemical stimuli, and biological stimuli. Okay, so organism can respond to such a stimuli. The stimuli has been categorized in three basic forms: physical stimuli, chemical stimuli, and biological stimuli. Physical stimuli means what? If suppose any organism is getting harmed by certain things, so that considered as the physical stimuli. Second is the chemical stimuli. Organisms are very sensitive to the chemicals which are harmful to them. For example, insecticides जब स्प्रे किए जाते हैं किसी भी एरिया में, तो इंसेक्ट वहाँ पे नहीं आते, या फिर कोई स्प्रे ऐसा डाला जाता है इंसेक्ट्स के लिए, जैसे कॉकरोचेस के लिए, तो दे आर नॉट occurring over there, they are not coming towards that chemical. So that is the chemical stimuli. This behavior of organism is respond of that organism to that particular stimuli. Third one is the biological stimuli. Here you can take an example of plant which shows the growth towards the light direction. Okay, so this is the biological stimuli. So this is also a very defining property of living organism. So ability to sense environment, but organism can respond to their surrounding. It's a truly defining property of living organism. So you can see here it is defining property. Is defining property of living organism. Now last property is cellular organization. This is the last property, that is cellular organization. So what should happen over here? What is the cellular organization? All living organisms are formed by the cells, and basically there are two main type of cell. that is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic primitive type of cell, many bacteria showing the prokaryotic type of cells. Eukaryotic cell is the advanced type of cell. Eukaryotic cell again have a categorization, that is plant cell and animal cell. Okay, what is the basic difference between plant and animal cell? Plant cell do possess a cell wall. प्लांट सेल के अंदर सेल वॉल होता है, एनिमल सेल्स के अंदर सेल वॉल नहीं होता. सो दिस इज अगेन ट्रूली डिफाइनिंग प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ लिविंग बीइंग. सो अमॉन्ग देम ऑल, growth, reproduction is not the defining property of living organisms, but metabolism, ability to sense environment, cellular organizations, these properties are considered as a truly defining property of living organisms. Biodiversity, what is a biodiversity? The range of a living system present on earth. जितने different type के organisms अर्थ पे सस्टेन करते हैं, उन सभी को बोलते हैं डाइवर्सिटी, दैट इज डिफरेंसेस अमॉन्ग द ऑर्गेनिजम्स. दैट मीन्स द रेंज ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म प्रेजेंट ऑन अर्थ इज कॉल्ड एज बायोडाइवर्सिटी और आल्सो कॉल्ड एज डिफरेंसेस विदिन द ऑर्गेनिजम्स. सो different kind of organisms are represented by the unit, specific unit, or you can say the unit of classification or naming system is a species. Okay, so a smallest category of a classification is also a species. Different kind of organisms specified by a specific unit, that unit is called as species. Now the known species up to 8 human being is known and demonstrated 1.7 to 1.8 million species. Human being up to 8 known about 1.7 to 1.8 million species. तब हमें पता चला है कि इतनी सारी स्पेसीज सस्टेन करती है ऑन अर्थ, एंड अभी भी रिसर्च इज ऑनगोइंग. नेक्स्ट वन इज व्हाट इज अ टैक्सोनॉमी. टैक्सोनॉमी इज अ ब्रांच ऑफ बायोलॉजी व्हिच डील्स विद identification, classification and naming system, that is nomenclature. It is a branch of biology which deals with the identification, that means उस organism को पहले identify करना होता है by using certain characteristics, by applying some characteristics. First of all, you have to identify that species, then you have to classify that species, and lastly we have to name that species. So it is called as taxonomy. So taxonomy have certain rules by which organism is being studied. organisms पे स्टडी किया जाता है. तो कौन से ऐसे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है जिनको कंसिडर किया जाता है टू आइडेंटिफाई द पर्टिकुलर organisms. First is the morphology. What kind of morphological characteristics that organism possesses. इसके फिजिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कंसिडर किए जाते हैं मॉर्फोलॉजिकल स्टडी के अंदर. मॉर्फोलॉजिकल स्टडी मतलब फिजिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स, वो स्टडी किए जाते हैं मॉर्फोलॉजी में. सेकेंड वन इज द साइटोलॉजी. सेल स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन, कैरेक्टराइजेशन ऑफ सेल is studied under the branch of cytology. Embryology, developmental process, how within the embryonic condition how organism is showing its developmental process, that all things are being studied in embryology. Third one is the fossil record, their evolutionary record and their relationship with the environment, how फॉसिल रिकॉर्ड्स जो एक्सटिंक्ट हो गए हैं ऑर्गेनिजम्स, उन सब के बारे में हमें पता चलता है बाय स्टडिंग द फॉसिल रिकॉर्ड ऑफ दैट ऑर्गेनिज्म. थर्ड वन इज द इकोलॉजिकल रिलेशनशिप. ऑर्गेनिजम्स, हाउ ऑर्गेनिज्म रिस्पॉन्ड टू देयर सराउंडिंग, व्हाट इज द स्पेसिफिक एबिलिटी टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू द सराउंडिंग, दैट ऑल स्टडी, दैट ऑल ऑब्जर्वेशन हैव बीन डन इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ इकोलॉजिकल रिलेशनशिप. सो we can consider that taxonomy can be studied by utilizing certain properties, that is morphology, cytology, embryology, fossil record and ecological relationship. What is the function of taxonomy? Taxonomy, it is described a taxonomic unit, that is species को identify किया जाता है, grouping किया जाता है, and that is very helpful to relate or to identify the resemblance and relationship of that species to another species. Now, what is the history of taxonomy? The first scientist, Theophrastus, is the father of botany, who has been classified plant in 4 subgroups. Father of botany, who classified the plants in 4 categories, that is trees, shrubs, undershrubs and herbs. Then Carolus Linnaeus, father of taxonomy, has been classified more than 7,000 species. Taxonomy again have classical taxonomy and evolutionary taxonomy. Classical taxonomy is depend on morphological characteristics only, and they stick to the point that morphological characteristics should not be changed. And fourth one is the evolutionary taxonomy. Evolutionary taxonomy is the advanced taxonomy, which believes that the living system is having changes with respect to the environmental condition, and evolutionary taxonomy is supported by cytology and cytology and chemotaxonomy. So that is the evolutionary taxonomy. That is all about the biodiversity and history of taxonomy. Dear student, our next topic is nomenclature. So nomenclature is term. Nomenclature is systematic naming system of organism. Nomenclature is the naming system to give the name. Once the organism is specifically derived, specifically described, it is the process to give a specific scientific name to that organism. It's called as nomenclature. It is not possible to know the organism by its local or vernacular name. It may cause certain confusion. अगर उसके लोकल और वर्नाकुलर नेम से ही वही उसका नाम रहा तो ये कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट कर सकता है. टू अवॉइड दिस कंफ्यूजन, वन scientific naming system has been established, and the rule of that scientific naming system is being given by ICZN and ICBN. ICZN means what? International Council of Zoological Nomenclature, which gives the name to the animal, and ICBN, International Council of Botanical Nomenclature. Okay, so they both provide some rules and regulations to give the scientific names to the organisms. So it has certain rules. First one, the naming system or name should be given in Latin language only. It must be given in Latin language. Why Latin language is being chosen over here? Because Latin is dead language. Okay, Latin is a dead language, and that's why it is used to give the name to the organisms. Second one, if the name is in type form, it must be, the font must be italic. अगर ये type form में है तो italic form में होना चाहिए. And if it is handwritten, it should be underlined. If it is handwritten, it should be underlined. By nomenclature, it has two names. It has specifically two names. Single organism will have two names. First one is the generic name, and second one is the specific name. For example, Magnifera indica. Here Magnifera is a genus name and indica is the specific name, which is mango's scientific name. Okay, so generic name and specific name. Each organism should have two names. Fourth thing is generic name must be in capital letters and specific epithet must be in small. A species name must be in small epithet, okay, or in small epithet. Okay. Next one is the name must be not too short. It should not be too short, or it should not be too long to take. Okay, so it should not be too short. Or it should not be too long. So there are certain specific rules are there which has been set in for to give the scientific names to the organisms. So nomenclature is been founded by the Cornus Linnaeus. Scientific naming system, the rules and the regulation is been decided by ICZL and ICBN. Once the name is given, the scientist name must be written in abbreviated from. For an example, Magnifera indica Linn. What it means? Magnifera is generic name, indica is specific name, and Linn is the scientist name. It is the method by which living organisms are being named.